It's a lot to unpack here, guys. We're going to take a look at Bible prophecy as well. But just in case you don't know what's going on, watch this update first.
After a deadly weekend in the Middle East, in Israel, 24 fatalities, 600 wounded. The death count even higher in Iran, 224 dead and counting. Iran retaliating by firing over 370 missiles at the Jewish state, but Israel's hitting back harder. As he left Canada.
We've already discussed how that stuff seems to be fake too. The whole so-called bombing of Iran or whatever, or Israel or whatever.
Trump wrote on Truth Social, everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran.
President Trump is faced with what could be the most important decision of his second term. Will he order the United States military to bomb Iran?
Netanyahu also said Israel will not rule out targeting the Ayatollah because taking him out would end the conflict.
Quote, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, exclamation point, at least not for now.
If we don't take out their nuclear program now, we'll all regret it.
Hoping the president will not get involved with the war.
Here's some of those assets being moved into the region, and this is the graphic from Fox that we are seeing just all around there.
Well, Israel has hit several nuclear sites, but according to the United Nations nuclear watchdog, has not damaged two of the sites. You mentioned the bunker busters. One of those sites, Fordo, is thought, the conventional wisdom is that it would require American bunker buster bombs, which only the U.S. has to get at that site.
The president added, our patience is wearing thin. He then followed up that with this post.
Yeah, I don't get it. Look, imagine you had you knew that one of your enemies was trying to make nuclear bombs and stuff, right? Would you bomb that place? Does that make any sense? Like, what's the idea? Like, isn't it possible that if you bomb the place, that you would create some kind of nuclear detonation? Isn't that the scary thing there? Like, to me, that seems weird. It's like you're asking for an even greater disaster to occur. I guess they don't care because it's the enemy or something, but that's just bizarre. Because first of all, I don't even believe in nuclear weapons, right? But so whatever, right? But if you believe in that, why would you send a bomb? Why would you try to bomb the place where they're making nuclear weapons? Isn't that dangerous? Like, I don't get it.
Unconditional surrender.
Iran's supreme leader sent a message over Iranian TV. He refused President Trump's demand for unconditional surrender and threatened irreparable consequences if the U.S. gets directly involved. That's
Israel needs an American bunker buster, at least one, to destroy the terror regime's last untouched or virtually untouched nuclear facility called Fordo.
Now, the media is blowing up, and Christians especially, they're wondering, man, is this the end times? What's happening? I just want to ask you just to calm down. If we're going to look at this truthfully, we need to do so calmly through the Holy Spirit and not.
This guy's like a shill too, but you see, you know, some of the shills always have this thing in the corner, like they'll have like a lamp in the corner for no reason. Like, why is this here? Right? It's because it represents the sun. And then notice also, by the way, like his shirt. Look at his shirt, man. Hold on.
They call Fordo.
Now the media is blowing.
Look at this guy's shirt. Look, it's a cross. He cut the cross in half. Why would you do that? And then the lion is one eye. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. That's exactly what this is. Okay, by the way, if you didn't realize. Oh yeah. Nathan knows. So what I like, everybody knows. I don't have to tell you guys anymore. Eh? Now you guys know everything already. That's so good. I'm glad. Anyway, let's go. This guy's a show.
Blowing up, and Christians especially, they're wondering, man, is this the end times? What's happening? I just want to ask you just to calm down. If we're going to look at this truthfully, we need to do so calmly through the Holy Spirit and not with fear, right? So we need to look at biblical prophecy with clarity to be able just to see where we are. Remember, 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 says, God has not given us a spirit of fear. So let's start here. The conflict between Israel, Iran, and also their proxies when looking through the lens of the Bible, specifically Bible prophecy, because we live in very interesting times. In the last few decades, Israel continually asked for peace all the time.
We in Israel don't want war. We want peace.
But Iran, and also through other evil Islamic extremist groups, continually wanted to wipe Israel off the map. They see Israel as the little devil and America as the big devil. Now, what's happening right now, it's been coming for a very long time, because over the last few decades, Iran constantly wanted
he's doing his hands like this too, eh? He's putting that steeple thing.
Build nuclear weapons, and they were very close right now. And so Israel asked them to stop. They wanted negotiations with Trump, and you can see that happening over the last few months. But then Trump gave them 60 days, and they did not want to do it. They just kind of tried to extend and work for time. And then day 61, Israel attacked. So
he's just chilling for like, he looks to be just chilling for Freemasonry and that stuff, and trying to make his channel big and stuff, you know. But then they'll come at the Israel question from different angles. It's all just to confuse you. Like, really, all we can do for Israel is pray for them. We can't do, like, we have nothing to do with any of that stuff, right? So that's all we can do. But they'll try to give you all this weird advice and stuff. Like, It's dumb.
Trump has no idea of what was going to happen. American Union gave them 60
What?
days, and they did not want to do it. They just kind of tried to extend and work for time. And then day 61, Israel attacked. So don't think that Trump has no idea of what was going to happen. America knew. Israel attacked Iran unexpectedly, but with deadly precision. Many people are fleeing to Iran. There's a big exodus. Over the last few days, Israel successfully destroyed a third of Iran's ballistic missile launchers. All the drones of Iran have also been intercepted by Israel. They also took out military commanders, nuclear sites, air defense systems, surface-to-surface missiles, and nuclear scientists. All of this while not aiming to kill civilians at all. While Iran specifically aimed to kill Israeli civilians just like their proxies did.
Overnight missiles
not
landed in Tel Aviv.
Not necessarily, but I think, I mean, like I say, I don't think there's any real conflict there. It's not like they're real, like, so the Ayatollah is also a Freemason, right? And so the whole thing is just, it's all a Freemason circus, you know, the whole thing. Like, so they're not supporting any one given nation. But their goal is to have a world government and a world religion. What do you think of it? What do I think of that? It's just that, I mean, it's just them putting it in our face. It's one of those, what do they call that? Hidden in plain sight. It's one of those things, you know? That's what that is, man. Wicked.
Tel Aviv, killing at least 5 people. The IDF says Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles. Most have been intercepted, but some managed to hit Israeli cities, including Bat Yam, over the weekend. Behind me is just one of the...
Well, I don't know if you were here that day. We did talk a little bit about how a lot of that stuff is fake too. I'm not saying the whole thing is fake, but a lot of it is. Like, you know, the thing is, like, I get it. You know, I was talking about how it's a genocide and stuff. So maybe you guys think, like, I want you to be on that side of the debate, but I'm not trying to say that. Like, I say that it's a genocide so that I can call out people who try to pretend that we should support Israel or something like that. I'll just point out that according to the international definition of genocide, they are committing one, according to all their news reports and whatnot, right? According to their information. But I'm not saying I believe in that necessarily. Now, what's exactly happening in Gaza? I don't know, but their population is growing, you know, as much as they're like, it certainly does seem like there's a lot of destruction in their neighborhoods and stuff, but yeah, that's what exactly Noel knows. Yeah, that's what I think they do, man. Because then you'll see them come in. See, look what Noel's saying. See, they put real bombs in separated, bashed up pockets of the area, you know, like a movie set. So they'll go into Gaza. There's probably numerous buildings in Gaza that are just completely abandoned at this point, right? Just go and blow up one of those, and then they'll send the news crews in there and look, they blew up the building. What are we gonna do? And they'll put some person there to go, I don't know, the whole building fell down, you know, and then but it's all fake, you know? And they'll show these Palestinians going into the hospital. There's nothing wrong with them, nothing whatsoever. I remember I was showing this thing to these kids. There was one time this Palestinian like reporter. This is right after October 7th, right? Palestinian reporters got these 2 kids in the car with them, and he's trying to say that they got shot or something, right? Meanwhile, it's like they're totally fine, you know. And then he's the one that's freaking them out, you know. And then there's this other one where they had this girl who got shot, supposedly, right? But it looks like one of those hyper realistic dummies. That's what it looked like. Seriously, she's so beautiful. This little kid, that's like one of these little girls. Like they got shot her up. Her face is like perfect, you know, and it looked like a doll, you know. I was like, oh man, this is fake too. And there's a lot of this stuff is fake. The food limiting stuff. Now, remember we were talking about that too. One time, so there's just these people, these Palestinian people, right? They got like their kid there. He's completely skin and bones. He's starving. Their child. Okay? But they're totally fine. They're walking around, they're totally fine. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know what that is. Maybe those people are part of some Freemason thing too. And they're literally like sacrificing their kid or something. I don't know what that is. That's bizarre. But you see this kid's so skinny they can't even lift up their hand, right? And then you see the mother, we're told that it's the mother or whatever, but they're totally fine. They're fine. They look like normal, you know? What is going on, right? So I don't know what's going on with all that stuff. But I'm just telling you, man, I don't believe narratives on the news. I believe the Bible, you know? Now, there's some things are real. I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's not. So I don't even really discuss that stuff too much. I can pick the Jeepers out of any news. Yeah, nice, good. Noel knows, man. Do you see? Hey, Noel, did you see my thing about Air India? Dude, I totally exposed that thing, bro. But nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, I put it on my Facebook. I told all my friends. Nobody cares. They don't even want to know. They don't even want to think about it, you know? But it's literally fake. It's obviously fake.
One of the locations where Iranian missiles have hit. The missile contained nearly 1,000 pounds of explosives. 9 were killed in the attack, 3 of them children, and nearly 200 injured.
I tell you, these are very large missiles that are landing here to cause such damage like this. Iran has openly called.
See, look at this. So let's look at this. Let's think about this. So okay, first of all, let's look at all these scenes of carnage that we're supposed to be so upset about all this damage to the poor people of Palestine.
Hundreds of ballistic missiles, most of them.
So this is a ballistic missile. Okay, let's see this again.
In Tel Aviv, killing at least 5 people. Overnight missiles landed in Tel Aviv, killing at least 5 people.
So there's like a fire, and there's some buildings that look like they're wrecked, right?
Overnight.
I don't know. Maybe a missile hit this thing. I don't even know.
Missiles landed in Tel Aviv, killing.
But like, you never see like a dead body or anything. You never see anything like that. You just see like a bunch of stuff blown up. Yeah. That's the thing. AI with AI now, who knows what they're doing? Who knows, man? They could be doing any kind of weird stuff, right? Who knows?
At least 5 people. The IDF says Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles, most of them intercepted, but some managed to hit Israeli cities, including Bat Yam over the weekend. Behind me is just one of the locations where Iranian missiles have hit. The missile contained nearly 1,000 Bat Yam over the weekend. Behind me is just...
Now they're going to try to tell you that this is Tel Aviv, and Tel Aviv's been wrecked by missiles of fire or whatever, right? Look at this building. Like, look at this. Am I supposed to believe a missile hit this building? Why does it look like this? Is that what a building looks like when it gets hit by a missile? Look at how like every single part of this building, like where there was a wall here, right, is gone, but the floors are all perfectly intact. And then there's a bunch of junk in there. It's not like it doesn't look like somebody lived there, you know? It looks like just a bunch of junk. I don't know what this is, man. But it's always like that. It's always like that with these things, you know?
It's just one of the locations.
The other thing too. Yeah, Nick knows. This all fireworks, man. When they show you like, oh, they're bombing Tel Aviv. They're showing you like they'll go, oh, we have a live camera footage of they're bombing Tel Aviv, and it's like nothing. They don't look like missiles. They look like fireworks. It's obviously fake, you know. Now, I'm not saying everything's fake, but I don't know what's fake and what isn't. I know when I look at something, I can look at it and say this looks very fake. And then something we investigated, we can see is obviously fake. It's clearly, we prove it. So a lot of it is fake. I don't know how much of it, but it's weird.
Where Iranian missiles have hit. The missile contained nearly 1,000 pounds of explosives. 9 were killed in the attack.
Now look at this. Look at this now. Let's look at this.
The missile contained nearly.
This is what they'll do too. They have a bunch of guys walking around in this place where everything's broken into rubble, or not even rubble. It's like broken up. And what they're trying to tell you is that this was some kind of building that got blown up or something, right? But it's always the same thing. You just see a bunch of people milling around in some scene with a bunch of destroyed junk. It's weird.
Nearly 1,000 pounds of explosives. 9 were killed in the attack. 3 of them children, and nearly 200.
Is this what it looks like when you put a missile into a building? That's what it looks like. So what am I supposed to? Are they trying to tell me that people lived here and then this is what happened? So this is somebody's home, according to these people, or something like this, right? And I guess a missile hit this thing, and then now it looks like this. I don't know. To me, that seems a little bit hard to believe. And also, once again, like as Noel is also pointing out, no structural failure. You'll see the whole building. Everything is totally fine except for like one wall is gone, or 2 walls or whatever. But all the floors are they're there. Like what is that? How does that happen, man? Like I don't get it.
100 injured.
I tell you, these are very large
or something like
missiles
that.
that are landing here.
Like yeah, like I agree with what Nick's saying, but let's say they'll try to say no, it's not that powerful, right? But like whatever power it is, it's gonna have this chaotic destruction. Like maybe okay, maybe the missile's not powerful enough to destroy the whole building, but let's say wherever it hits, it's gonna destroy that whole place completely. It's gonna be wrecked, like the floor above, the floor beneath, that whole section is gonna be wrecked, right? But what instead what we see is what looks like they just purposely destroyed a building to make it look like they got hit by a missile. That's what we end up seeing, you know? Very weird.
Here to cause such damage like this, Iran has openly called for the annihilation of Israel,
Exactly. That's
of the
the other
United
thing.
States,
Like,
of all Western
yeah, like,
ideology.
that's the other thing. Yeah, no, like I'm glad you guys are here to point out the things I forget. But yeah, if this building got hit by a missile, and so like we're supposed to believe this building got hit by a missile, right? Look, you don't know whether the building is stable, that you could just 10, 20 people walking around the floor, just digging around. What are they digging around for anyway? What are they looking in there for? A person? What is this? It's so dumb. It's so utterly fake. Like everything, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like. It's just weird, dude. It's just weird. So can they fake a war? Yeah, I think they can fake a war.
And nearly 200 injured.
I tell you, these are very large missiles that are landing here to cause such damage like this. Iran has openly called for the annihilation of Israel, of the United States, of all Western ideology. It's like this.
Iran's calling for the destruction of all Western. Shut up, man. Look at this. So I guess we're supposed to believe that people used to live in this building, right? Does that look like people used to live in that building? Is that what the building looks like when people live in it and then it gets blown up? So utterly fake and dumb, you know? And then you should see, I used to talk about the Ukraine thing. I took the videos down because I started my internship. But anyway, when I was talking about Ukraine, when the Ukraine thing started, that was fake too. Practically everything they did at the beginning of that war, I stopped even looking at it. But at the beginning of the Ukraine war, every single thing they did was fake. Every single thing. It was fake, man. It was fake building blow up, fake hospital blown up. They faked some car with like 2 old people in it. They faked it that showed that the Russian tank shot it and blew it up. That was fake too. Every single thing that they showed on the news from Ukraine was fake.
Iran has openly called for the annihilation of Israel, of the United States, of all Western ideology. Israel had to do a preemptive strike in order to defend our civilians. Now, what we're targeting is strategic.
Oh yeah, no, it's all right. You don't have to apologize, bro. I just get annoyed. It's not your fault, man. Like I'm fine. It bothers me that he bothers you, if that's the case. But if you're just trying to learn how to defend against those people, then yeah. And no, that's what we're here for you to learn stuff, right? So don't apologize. That's totally fine. But it bothers me that people like that even exist. So that's why I was getting upset.
Military targets. What they're targeting, like you see behind me in the various sites across Israel, is civilian infrastructure, residential communities.
Let me give you a very quick short overview of why Israel attacked Iran. Since 1979, Iran has trained and funded terrorists
for the annihilation of Israel, of the United States, of all Western ideology.
Children and nearly 200 injured.
I tell you, these are very large missiles that are.
They're very large missiles, guys. Watch out! Look, I'm telling you, man. People in Tel Aviv, the average person in Tel Aviv, they're just going to work. They're going back home. Nothing's really happening.
And here to cause such damage like this, Iran has openly called.
Why? Like, what is this? Why is it? Imagine a missile hits this building, right? Why would there be a hole here and a hole here, and there's no hole in between here? Like, is that what a missile does to a building? What am I looking at? It's so weird and dumb, man. That's why I don't believe any of this stuff. No destroyed appliances. Yeah. Thank you. No bodies. Never a body. Never will you see a body. Never once will you see a body in one of these scenes. You won't see a blood on the ground. You won't see like. Where's the burning? Wouldn't there be some fires or something, like something burning? What kind of stupid nonsense is this thing, man? Yeah, nothing but building materials. Exactly. It's like they just demolish it. It's like they're like, okay, we gotta demolish this building, so let's demolish most of it, and then we'll make it look like it got bombed. Then we'll put it on the news. Then we'll demolish the building, get the insurance money, and then we'll build a new building and make money. Takes a couple of planes to take down the entire. I know. Imagine that's the other thing. Like, first of all, I don't even believe that story. So I don't even believe that the airplane could take down that building. But I'll tell you what, it's right. You're right. Why are there openings in the wall? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other day I was on Charlie Michael's stream about the phrase "free gift" in the Bible. He said it's not in the Greek and that Protestants made it up. Free gift? Well, yeah, it doesn't say free gift, it says gift. But they want to distinguish between because there is one of the words. There's a few words they use there because charis is used sometimes, and then charis means like grace, but sometimes the King James will say the free will say gift. But I think the word is dorian or something like that, dorian, and that is free gift. So it's actually good that the King James uses that word free gift, not just a gift. But a gift is the same. A gift is a free gift, right? That's what Dorian means. I think it's Dorian, something like that. But that's all. Anyway, he's just like, don't listen to Charlie Michaels. He's an idiot. I'll debunk him too. That guy's wicked. Smashed by hands. Yeah, I know exactly. Look at this, man. The tree's completely fine. This thing, like, yeah, you just take tools and smash out this wall. What's up, DZ? God bless you, brother. I know they missed all the trees, right? Thanks, DZ. God bless, bro. Get the likes up, people. God bless.
Called for the annihilation of Israel, of the United States, of all Western ideology. Israel had to do a preemptive strike in order to defend our civilians.
Oh, Israel had to. They had to do a preemptive strike to defend their civilians. Why do you have to attack this country that never attacked you, Israel? Why do you have to do that? And then they're going to try to say, oh, it was a proxy war. They're funding Hamas and Hezbollah and all this stuff. Well, look, Hamas and Hezbollah are on the run from you at this point. You've completely locked them down. You've completely wrecked all your opposition from those two groups, right? They're completely under control. But now you have to attack Iran itself. Why? Oh, because the nuclear bomb threat. Shut up, idiots.
Now, what we're targeting is strategic military targets. What they're targeting, like you see behind me in the various sites across Israel, is civilian infrastructure, residential communities.
Let me give you a very quick short overview of why Israel attacked Iran. Since 1979, Iran has trained and funded terror groups like Hezbollah and Hamas that launch rockets into Israel and try to kill civilians. You all know what happened on October 7th.
Horror, as Hamas terrorists gun down civilians in Israel.
7 female soldiers covered in blood and bruises are up against a wall. They're handcuffed and terrified. The gunmen leering at the women, telling them they're beautiful. The UN has said Hamas committed rape.
Leering at the women. Leering at the women. Listen, look, man, look. This is so utterly dumb. They're troopers, okay? For some reason, Israel feels the need to make women go and fight their wars, right? For some reason, it's utterly stupid too, right? But for some reason, these like little girls from Israel are somehow in a war with these people, supposedly, right? And now they're all like bloody and all this stuff. Like, well, that's probably fake too, but whatever. I don't think these guys are leering at them. Do you see them leering at them? It's so utterly dumb. They're trying to make you think, like, oh, they're leering at them. They're gonna rape them. They're gonna rape them all. Like, shut up, man.
7 female soldiers covered in blood and bruises.
By the way, you know what too? You know how he said that? Look, this is the thing. I noticed this thing too.
Israel is civilian infrastructure, residential communities.
Let me give you a very quick short overview of why Israel attacked Iran. Since 1979, Iran has trained and funded terror groups like Hezbollah.
Since 1979, right? Because 1979 was the year that they had the Iranian Revolution, all right? Before the Iranian Revolution, when the Ayatollahs took power, there was the Shah of Iran, like kind of like a king. And he was friendly to the Western powers, right? But he's also very cruel to the people of Iran, all right? He would torture them. He would disappear them and all those things, right? But what these people don't tell you is that, like, it's so funny, man. They had a democratic government in Iran in the 1950s, right? This guy, Mossadegh, I think his name is, all right? So Mossadegh was the prime minister or the president or something, right? I think it's prime minister. But then what happened is he wanted to nationalize all the oil in Iran so that it wouldn't be making money for the UK and US. So the UK and the US, This is all historical fact. This is not a conspiracy theory. You can look this up. The UK and the US, they arranged for a coup d'etat of that person, Mossadegh, and then they installed the Shah of Iran because they knew that he would be friendly to their interests. But the people of Iran remembered that they had a leader that they chose, right, democratically, and the US and the UK got rid of him to install their puppet king, and that puppet king, that cruel king, ruled over them for 20 years or almost 30 years, and then he was, or it's not him, but his son, right, or whatever. Like it was like a family, and then finally they got rid of him. And then it was the Ayatollahs, and then ever since then the Ayatollahs always opposed U.S. and UK, and also Israel was a big part of that thing too. They were very helpful. They provided military intelligence and other things to that coup. Okay, so it's not as if the opposition of Iran to the West and to Israel began in 1979 with the revolution. It began when the US, the UK, and Israel interfered with the Iranian people's chosen democratically elected leader, removed him from office in a coup, in an illegal, wicked thing that they did, and then installed this dictator, this cruel tyrant, So if people try to tell you that it all began in 1979 when the Muslims started taking over or whatever, it's not what happened. Okay, I remember because I was showing this story about that to one of my students, and then I just realized, like, wow, why are they doing it like this? The Associated Press, they tell the story like that too. They say, all the conflict began in 1979. They don't tell you about 1953. But they're wicked.
Hezbollah and Hamas that launch rockets into Israel and try to kill civilians. You all know what happened on October 7th.
Horror as Hamas terrorists gun down civilians in Israel.
7 female soldiers covered in blood and bruises are up against a wall. They're handcuffed and terrified, the gunmen leering at the women, telling them they're beautiful. The UN has said Hamas committed rape and sexual violence against its victims.
Iran gives Hamas millions every year, not to help the people of Gaza, but to spread hate and violence.
Were murdered in cold blood by Hamas.
They have also used fake news to spread lies about Israel.
So okay, look now there's see what they do too. They do this game too. So it's hilarious because the Israeli or Western media that supports Israel or whatever, they'll kind of give you this framing that the Hamas fakes the things, right? And then on the other side they'll say that Israel's faking the things, right? When meanwhile it's probably they're all faking it. Everything's fake,
In cold blood by Hamas.
They have also used fake news to spread lies.
Look at this. Another child starved in Gaza. This is fake. 2020. Oh, so they're using the same picture from before. That's the idea there. Well, why did this happen in 2020? Oh, this is Yemenis. This is a Yemenis kid. Whatever, man. I've seen. Look, we've seen it. The tape from literally, it's videos, literally in Gaza where they have starving kids. But that's all. I'm just pointing out that it's weird how these kids are starving, and their parents look completely fine. And some of the parents are like almost a little bit overweight, and then the kids like literally like worse than this, So what's up with that? I don't know. Like the whole thing is just very suspicious and weird to me.
About Israel continually that people have blindly believed. Yes, I'm talking about people in the West.
Oh, no, not necessarily. No, for example, there were people before dispensationalism is only coming around in the 19th century. So there were people among the church fathers. Actually, it's actually among the earliest church fathers, like Papias and Irenaeus and Polycarp. Okay, these are some of the earliest church fathers. They actually believed in what they call historical premillennialism. So they did believe in a literal reign of Christ, 1,000-year reign of Christ. They believed in that. But what they did not believe, unlike the dispensationalists, is they did not believe there was any separation between the church and Israel. Or they didn't believe, or at least not in this hardcore way that these guys do it. Dispensationalists are trying to say the land promises are still for the Jews and all this weird stuff. That's what's weird. The whole thing of the idea of a 1,000-year reign, that's not that weird. I mean, most of the church does not believe that for most of church history. But like I said to you, the earliest church fathers did. So it's a respectable position. I'm not against it. I'm not against that position. I'm against the idea. This is what I'm solely against. Solely among the dispensationalist weird ideas, right? The 7-year tribulation thing, which is not that's like from some Jesuits. All right. And then the other thing that they came up with is this idea that the Jews or like Israel and the church are completely separate, and the Bible never tries to say that we are kind of that the church is a kind of fulfillment of Israel or an extension, or we're grafted into Israel. That's what the Bible seems to clearly teach, but they try to deny that. So that's why I oppose dispensationalism, not because of the 1,000-year reign or anything.
You can follow people like Amir Tsarfati on Telegram for accurate news, and others as well. For decades, Iran tried to
accurate news. These guys are nobody's gonna give you accurate news on these stupid outlets, bro. Yeah, I know. I stopped watching too, man. It's garbage. It's fear-based. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Henry Eric. God bless you. Same here, David. Yeah. Yeah. They say we're not in the new covenant. Yeah, that's another weird thing they say. They're stupid. I mean, it's not to say they're stupid, but it's wicked, man. It's wicked. That whole theology. Accurate news. For sure. I feel like this spin is really just Christian Zionism. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's not much older than Zionism. In fact, it's around the same time that Zionism really started to get underway that you see the rise of dispensationalism. I made a video about it recently where I tied it to British Israelism. But it might go further back to kind of Freemasonry and also the Catholic, the Jesuits and stuff. They're the ones that came up with that 7-year reign thing.
And follow people like Amir Tsarfati on Telegram for accurate news, and others as well. For decades, Iran tried to build nuclear weapons. That's the big thing here. And they will use it. So for a very long time, Israel has continually said that they do not want war. They don't want to hurt innocent people. They don't want to destroy Iran, for example. They've continually said they do not, and they will use it. For decades, Iran tried to build nuclear weapons.
Oh, okay, yeah, that story. Like, so that again, man. First of all, I don't believe nuclear weapons are a real thing. If you choose to believe that, that's up to you. There's not much evidence for it, but okay, whatever. If you believe that, okay, fine. Now the story is that Iran has been trying to build them for decades, but they never show you any evidence. They just kind of what they say is that if this organization called the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, if they say Iran is building nuclear weapons, then they are. That's just settled. It's already done. Don't try to question it, you know. But it's like they deny it, you know. They claim that all they're trying to do is build nuclear power. And so, you know, anyway, so dumb.
Big thing here. And they will use it. So for a very long
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta come up with this soon. I'll come up with that. I want to do this series on race in the Bible, though. You know, some people were like, "Wow, very interesting. It's crazy. I thought all of this was confusing for scripture until you actually read scripture." Yeah, it's a lot of it's just traditions of men. The church has never believed in this thing, in this 7-year tribulation thing throughout church history. It's never been a thing. And also the whole thing of the what do you call it? The separation of the church and Israel. That's the big thing. That's the big thing. The Bible seems to clearly state that the church is the church is the new Israel, you know, or we're like we are the extension of Israel. We're grafted into the tree, you know?
Very long time, Israel has continually said that they do not want war. They don't want to hurt innocent.
They continually say they do not want war. But what they'll continually do is build settlements in the Palestinians' place. They'll continue to build illegal settlements in their territory, and then they'll just continue. They'll just attack Iran, and then they'll say, "Oh, we don't want war. We just, you know." And it's like so obvious they do want war. They obviously want war. And then Netanyahu has been pushing for the Americans to fight a war with Iran for like decades as well. Decades, literally decades. This guy's trying to say for decades, Israel's been saying they don't want war. No, they absolutely want war. They absolutely want war, and it's provable. Not even like I was saying. I'm not even saying a conspiracy theory. When I say Israel wants war, it's obvious. Ginger Baker? I don't know. I can't remember, bro. I don't think so. But nice to see you. God bless. I know, it's so dumb. Exactly. Why that's why Paul instructed us to not be arrogant, because we can be cut off also. The church was an extension of Israel. We wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's only one tree. It's not like there's another tree for them and we're one tree and they're another tree. It's one tree. So we get grafted in, they can be grafted back in because it's all one tree. But these guys try to tell you, no, there's another kingdom. It's utterly dumb. They're just ignoring what the Bible says. But what happens is the Bible is not written for like little kids, right? So they use a lot of like, it's not to be interpreted in some simplistic way, right? But if you do, then there's statements in there that could kind of sound like, like for instance, in 1 Peter, he's talking to Gentiles, but he talks to them, he refers to them as like Israel sometimes, kind of, or like he'll say like he'll compare other people who are not Christians, he'll call them Gentiles. So it gives you the impression, if you're not aware that Peter's using that kind of figures of speech, if you're not aware of that, you might think that he's talking to Jews, right? That's what they'll do. They'll bring up those kind of things, but it's just dumb.
For a very long time, Israel has continually said that they do not want war. They don't want to hurt innocent people. They don't want to destroy Iran, for example.
They've always
continually said that
they've always been, man. They've always been. I swear, free grace might have started out as just like some kind of like backdoor into dispensationalism. It might have been the whole plan all along. But luckily, the devil's plans always turn out for good because God does that, right? So they created this movement to get people into dispensationalism, to catch people. And instead, what happens? People found out the truth, and then they break out of their false lies. Hey, come on, man! Don't do that.
Fight is not against the Iranian people recently as well, but against the evil regime controlling them. You need to understand, these are people who teach their young children to hate Israel, that they are less than humans. And you can see it with Hamas as well. These young kids that they give weapons to, and they shout death to Israel. The little
like this, yeah. They always show you this, like as if this is okay. This is the entire life of the Palestinians. Like all their kids, this is all they do with their kids. When in fact, no, there's 2 million people living there. Okay, most of them never see any kind of action like this. What happens is the people who are in Hamas, they'll take their kids to these things. It's not like the whole Palestinian people are doing this to their kids. It's utterly ridiculous. And also, I don't know. This is what they do, man. This guy's just showing you the literal like propaganda that they show people, to make you hate the Palestinians. Now, I'm not trying to support them either. I certainly don't support Hamas, but the idea that this is realistic is dumb.
As well, these young kids that they give weapons to, and they shout death to Israel, the little devil, and they call America the big devil.
We did not come here to enjoy ourselves or to play or anything like that. We came with our souls, our blood, our martyrs. We asked Hitler why he left some of you alive. He did so in order to show us how wicked you are. We will come to you from under the ground and hammer fear into your hearts. And above the ground, we will tear your bodies apart with our rockets. Scram into the shelters, you mice, you sons of Jewish women.
Memory has been monitoring these summer camps for 10 years.
They gave Israel no choice, and Israel actually saved the whole world.
They gave Israel no choice. They gave them no choice, guys. Israel saved the world. Did you know that? Did you know Israel saved the world by like, according to them, again, killing 40,000 civilians or whatever, 20,000 little kids? According to them, that's what their numbers. So that by doing that, they saved the world.
Our bodies apart with our rockets. Scram into the shelters, you might.
Can you hear it? What happened? Where's the sound go?
You sons of Jewish women.
Memory has been monitoring these summer camps for 10 years.
They gave Israel no choice, and Israel actually saved the whole world. because nobody was doing anything against Iran building these nuclear weapons. What do you think they want to do? They are not.
Oh,
people
they see the world.
with-
Oh, if Iran, if Israel didn't attack Iran has not attacked a country in like I don't know when the last time, probably in centuries. You know, I mean certainly not in the 20th century. They didn't. I don't know when Iran attacked the country last time. I don't know. Maybe they'll say First World War because it was like I don't know. I don't even know when Iran attacked the country. But it wasn't any time in a long time, bro. Not in a long time, okay? So the idea that we need if Israel never did that, then the whole world, they saved the world, guys.
with the same worldview as you watching this video right now. They think different about the world, and their aim is to control the whole world so that everybody will believe in Islam, and they will do it with force. These are Islamic.
That's what Iran wants to do. That's their goal. That's why they're like fighting a war with Israel, because they want to just make everybody believe in Islam by force. So utterly dumb. I mean, you know what? There's an argument to be made that the Muslim religion, that's kind of what its goal is, and so I get why people say that stuff, but the idea that Iran realistically thinks that they could possibly ever do that or anything like that is just foolish, you know?
Islamist extremist groups. So you need to understand that is why Israel attacked when Iran was not expecting it, but they did so carefully, with precision, with God's help, focusing on nuclear sites, on the scientists as well. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But first you need to understand and ask yourself, what did Iran do in return? Because they did retaliate. They didn't just attack military bases of Israel. They fired at Israeli cities. Civilians died. Homes were destroyed.
The civilians died. Oh, the civilians. No, we have to get the Iranians, guys. So utterly dumb.
The same thing goes for Hamas and Hezbollah, firing rockets at innocent families. Israel does not hide behind their citizens.
Oh no, Israel doesn't do that. Like, so only Hamas and Iran does that. Even though, according to these people, according to their news reports, right, we've got like 40,000 dead civilians in Gaza, right? Since October 27th, 2023, October 7th, 2023. There's like so many of these civilians dead in Gaza, right? And then also, it's like, oh my god, this is so utterly dumb. This is just like, I don't know. Some people believe this stuff though. There was this lady who used to join my Discord, and I made my first kind of video trying to explain the conflict because of the fact that she was talking like this. She literally believes this, you know? It's so dumb. It's so
Thing goes for Hamas
dumb.
and Hezbollah, firing rockets at innocent families. Israel does not hide behind their citizens, right? But their enemy does, and that is their plan. They also do not kill their citizens when their citizens question their leadership, but the enemy does. These are people killing women for no reason because they do not cover their heads. Iran through Hamas abducted innocent citizens and
Did they kill this woman because
killing
they
women
cover
for no
her head?
reason because they do not cover
Protests break out in Iran over lack of women's rights.
their
Okay.
heads. Iran.
So this woman was killed. So what are we saying here? Like, so are we suggesting that the entire Iranian government did this? The Iranian government did this woman? Is that what the story is? This is so dumb. Have I ever been to see entire? Yeah, I've been in there. It's a long time, but yeah, I've been in there. It's nice. It's kind of boring though.
Iran through Hamas abducted innocent citizens and raped them and killed them. They hate all Israelis and view
Yeah,
them.
I don't believe the rape story. Like, apparently there's some of the rape stories are somewhat credible, but it's not like there was some systematized like mass raping going on. That wasn't a thing, man. That was not a thing, okay?
As animals, all in the name of Allah, with their corrupted demonic beliefs. This is not the true God, because the true God is a God of love, yes, of justice as well, but justice and mercy always goes together. God does not find pleasure in killing people like this, raping people like this. This is pure evil.
Of course, idiots. Like, this guy, what's this guy trying to say, man? This is so dumb. They're trying to just demonize. This is what they do. They demonize people, you know? Because if you demonize your enemy, then it's like justified in just slaughtering them, right?
Well, this is demonic. Now, when we look at
Demonic,
Israel,
he literally said the word demonic. That's like, I mean, when I say demonization, that's the term people use in propaganda and stuff, right? Where they try to demonize the enemy. And this guy literally just said it, you know?
goes together. God does not find pleasure in killing people like this, raping people like this. This is pure evil. This is demonic. Now, when we look at Israel, what did they do? What they do is they send warnings to citizens before they attack. They tell them, hey, we're going to attack this area, get out of the way. And then they attack. So they tried their best to attack places targeting military officials or certain areas of key infrastructure that will break the stronghold.
Break the stronghold. They only attack the key infrastructure of the army, like the hospitals and the buildings, like literal like civilian buildings, or like universities and stuff. They'll try to say, oh, there was a military base in there, whatever, man.
Stronghold that evil regime has. So as we've seen with Iran just now, Israel also attacked their broadcasting network. Why? Because Iran told their people not to move out, not to flee, which is why Israel attacked Iran's state TV building.
Remember we were laughing about this? This is so fake too. First of all, the red and blue, right? She's got blue and her background's red. And I don't know what she's trying. That's supposed to be the news there with this person like this. But anyway.
But not to flee, which is why Israel attacked Iran's state TV building.
So look at this. Look at how it's just a bunch of confetti and some smoke comes in. It's obviously fake. Is that what happens when you blow up a building? You shoot a missile into a building, there's just some confetti comes in. As soon as the lady gets out of the shot, then the confetti comes in. So utterly fake and dumb.
A state TV outlet in Tehran.
Then this guy's like, oh, this guy has blood on his hands, and then we look close at his hands. It's not even blood, man. It's like henna or something, It's just so dumb. This whole thing is fake.
Live broadcast.
آنچه که ملاحظه کردید صدایی که شنیدید فضای غبارآلوده استودیو
That's fake.
So clearly there's a big difference here of how these different groups fight and what they believe as well, because you live according to how you believe, right? You fight for what you believe in, and that is the main issue here. Do not be deceived. This is a battle between light and darkness. So you might ask, all right, so what is this leading towards?
This is a battle between light and darkness. So you should support Israel. They're light, and those guys are darkness. Look, man, don't support any of these people. Israel's not light. They're certainly not Christians. They're far from light, okay? Whatever they are. Like, I'm not trying to say I hate them or anything, but look, man, I don't think any Christians should support either side of that conflict.
Bible prophecy that will get us closer to the end times. When we look at Ezekiel, we clearly see Bible prophecy of the battle of Gog and Magog, of a coalition of northern armies that will attack Israel. And one of these nations will be Persia. And Persia, who is Persia?
Look, dude, look, the Gog and Magog thing, look, man, people always try to do that. They try to say Gog and Magog is countries that currently exist today. It's certainly not, or we have no way of confirming or denying that. Anyway, it's kind of dumb to think that that's what they're talking about. Gog and Magog, we don't know who it is. We don't know who it is. But the idea that it's Russia, that's what a lot of people will say, or they'll say it's like, this guy's trying to say it's Persia. There's no reason to believe that from the Bible. No reason at all, okay? Nothing whatsoever, okay? The idea that this guy's trying to say that we should believe that that's what's happening now. The war with Israel and Iran is Gog and Magog, This is wickedness, bro.
Persia. Today, we call them Iran. Ezekiel 38 verse 15 says, you will come from your place out of the far north. You see, it will be a coalition of northern armies. You will come against my people Israel.
Here he goes Russia. Russia.
Ezekiel 38 verse 15 says, you will come from your place out of the far north. You see, it will be a coalition of
north. Go Russia. A lot of people will say Russia is Gog and Magog, but it's not, man. We don't know. Like, look, it's not anybody. It's probably nothing. No kind of modern state. Nothing like that. Well, this is another one of these dispensational views of the world. Like, they see like these prophecies to be like literal in our world, it's like this weird way of seeing it. But the Bible never really, or the church has never really looked at these things this way. It's only in the last couple hundred years, maybe 150 years, that people started doing this weird thinking.
Northern armies. You will come against my people Israel like a cloud to cover the land. It will be in the latter days. So it says here, this prophecy that God himself will stop this invasion. So they will not be successful. Is this what we're seeing right now? No, this is definitely not what we're seeing right now. But we can see this.
Okay, so he admitted that at least. Fine. But the fact that he said it's Persia, Gog and Magog is Persia, that's wicked, man. But what now he's probably trying to say this so that he can get out of anybody pointing out how ridiculous what he just said is. But he's hinting at it so strongly,
the stage being set. And we are closer than ever because the first prophecy that had to come true was Israel becoming a nation, and that happened in 1948. So we are living in this time. And for the first time, some of these other armies, you can see Turkey, Russia, and Iran, they're all talking. But now, this is happening with Iran. Iran has been growing aggressive with these other nations over time against Israel and using these proxies. And there was this buildup.
With these other nations. With what other nations? What are you talking about? It's like, was he saying Russia and Turkey? Or anyway, this is dumb, man. Turkey is kind of like, I guess, kind of hostile to Israel sometimes, but not really.
But now Israel can finish them in 1 week. Yes, that is how amazing the army of Israel was, with God giving them that power to be so efficient, so effective. And they've destroyed most of the key infrastructures of this evil regime and killed
this guy. See what this guy's saying? This guy's trying to say God gave the army of Israel the strength to defeat Iran. That's what he's trying to say. Wow, dude.
Other nations over time against Israel and using these proxies, and there was this buildup. But now Israel can finish them in 1 week. Yes, that is how amazing the army of Israel was, with God giving them that power to be so efficient, so effective. And they've destroyed most of the key infrastructures of this evil regime and killed many of their officials already.
The IDF says it's making history.
I'm probably gonna wrap it up after this one, buddy. Sorry, man. Come back next time. Sorry, bro. My bad.
We are in the midst of unprecedented achievements in the history of the IDF. We are opening the route to Tehran. In just 4 days, in what some are comparing to the miraculous 6-day war in 1967, Israel has targeted the vast array of Iran's nuclear infrastructure, including enrichment facilities in Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. The IDF says most of Iran's military commanders have been eliminated, and Mossad agents on the ground.
Look, this is just all propaganda. If you see, like, in the proper news, they don't even talk like this. It's more like kind of, they don't talk as if Israel just had some unqualified victory. You know, it's like there's some debate about it, I guess, but I don't think anyone thinks that Israel's got them on the run. A lot of people will suggest to you that Iran's the one with the upper hand right now, you know? So this is dumb.
Have taken out Iranian air defenses, ballistic missiles, and nuclear scientists.
This is not the final moment, but it is one step closer. So we could see maybe a new government in Iran forming.
So is regime change part of the effort here?
Could certainly be the result, because the Iran regime is very weak. I think it's basically left with two things. It's plans to have atomic bombs and ballistic missiles. That's basically what Iran has. They certainly don't have the people. 80% of the people would throw these theological thugs out. I mean, they murder them. They oppress them for 46 years. They've yearned for freedom. They just suck the oxygen from this brave and gifted people, the Iranian people. And the Persian people and the Jewish people have had an ancient friendship. It goes back to the times of Cyrus the Great. That could happen again. But again, the decision to act, to rise up at this time is the decision of the Iranian people. We decided to act because we saw enough uranium, enriched uranium, for 9 bombs.
So now he's saying it's the decision of them, but he's the one that attacked, right? It's so ridiculous.
It's the great. That could happen again. But again, the decision to act, to rise up at this time is the decision of the Iranian people. The
decision to act, to rise up at this time is a decision of the Iranian people. Well, you're the one that attacked. I don't know why it's their decision.
Decided to act because we saw enough uranium, enriched uranium, for 9 bombs.
So we could see maybe a new government in Iran forming. And this new government might have learned the lessons from what is happening.
Oh, is this thing? Is that what you're talking about? What is this? This is his mic, I think. Yeah, but that's weird too.
Right now, right? And they might take their time, build up their power, and then with a coalition, not alone, but with all these northern armies, try to once and for all think, all right, now we're going to defeat Israel. And we're going to do it when they do not expect.
Anyway, don't worry, man.
Not expected. Just like Israel just did with Iran. Ezekiel 38 verse 11 says, Israel will not expect it, as they will live in their land securely without walls or gates, meaning they will feel safe. But scripture says that Israel will not be defeated because God will fight for them. So the plan that God has with Israel is there until the end.
No, 1427, right? All right.
It's basically left with two things. It's plans to have atomic bombs and ballistic missiles. That's basically what Iran has. They certainly don't have the people.
We passed it. 1427 or 1405? Yeah.
Ballistic missiles and nuclear scientists.
Oh, this thing. Oh, the globe. Oh, wow. And look, see how it's like kind of like half red, half blue, with the fire on this side and the blue on this side? Wow, dude. Wicked. Thanks, typical.
Enough uranium, enriched uranium for 9 bombs.
So we could see maybe a new government in Iran forming. And this new government might have learned the lessons from what is happening right now, right? And they might take their time, build up their power, and then with a coalition, not alone, but with all these northern armies, try to once and for all think, all right, now we're going to defeat Israel, and we're going to do it when they do not expect it. Just like Israel just did with Iran. Ezekiel 38 verse 11 says, Israel will not expect it, as they will live in their land securely without walls or gates, meaning they will feel safe. But Scripture says that Israel will not be defeated because God will fight for them. So the plan that God has with Israel is there until the end times. He chose them to bring the Messiah, the Lion of Judah, so the whole world can get to know.
See what he's doing? He's see, like, people have no clue, right? So now, like, he's not arguing any kind of normal dispensational theology, right? But he has, like, a lot of those ideas have just kind of become part of our culture now. Again, not naturally. It's been top down. And so these ideas are just in the culture now. So people that don't know about the Bible and are listening to this fool, they'll hear all this stuff and just kind of go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. So everybody's going to attack Israel, and then there's going to be this big war or whatever. So that's all. That's how they can just use this weird false theology to manipulate people, you know
God through the nation of Israel. But God has put a partial hardening on Israel so that they don't accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Messiah. Some people do, the Messianic Jews. But in Gog and Magog, this war, this northern coalition of armies will come. They will attack Israel, but Israel will not be defeated. And they will have this peaceful time. And they will believe then at some point that there will be the Messiah. And this Messiah will build the third temple. So remember, the third temple needs to be built first for the
see this stuff, like all the third temple and Israel, and they're not going to believe, but they're not going to be defeated. And all this stuff. Like, dude, why would God care about them when they don't even believe in His Son? Whoever denies the Son, the same hath not the Father, right? Why would God care about these people who deny Jesus Christ?
To be there and for the Antichrist to sit on it and call himself God, right? But Israel needs to believe that he is the Messiah. And then when it is revealed that he is actually the Antichrist, they will be shocked. So we are slowly getting closer because we're hearing about wars and rumors of wars. Remember, Jesus said in Matthew 24, verse 6, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see that you are not alarmed. These things must happen, but the end is still to come. So we do not need to panic. We can just look at it, but we need to stay firm in our faith, firm in the word of God, abide in Jesus Christ, and never let the enemy steal our peace and joy that we have in him. And pray for Israel, not only for Israel, but also for the people of Iran. And I'll come to that in a bit. But Psalm 122, verse 6 says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. So we need to pray for peace in Israel.
Look, dude, I don't know. Look, man, of course you should pray. I don't want anybody to get hurt in Jerusalem, okay? Of course. But that's not what he's saying in the Psalm. That's not what he's talking about, okay? Anyway.
In Israel, but also for the people in Iran who are trapped under a cruel regime. Remember, God loves all people, and we can get into this habit of thinking they're our enemies and we are against them and they are the children of darkness. But also remember, our fight is not against each other, but against the spiritual forces in the air.
Social media videos from inside Iran show Iranian citizens cheering the strikes, hoping it will bring down the dictatorship that's ruled for 40 Iran. Show Iranian citizens cheering the strikes, hoping it will bring down the dictatorship that's ruled for 46 years. I call.
No, they're not doing that, man. They're not cheering for the dictatorship to fall right now. Now, CBN is just wicked propaganda, Christian Zionist propaganda, you know?
Cheering the strikes, hoping it will bring down the dictatorship that's ruled for 46 years. I call upon the Iranian people, this is your moment. This is your moment to stand up, to remove the mullahs if you can, and the world will stand behind you.
Remember, we're all human beings created in the image of God. God loves us. He lets us live in this temporary world with freedom of choice because he wants us to choose him, the light over the darkness. But the enemy is here. And he's trying to deceive as many people as possible to live in darkness. And that is what's happening with these nations. But there are also many Christians there as well that's really having a hard time being persecuted. Let's pray for them and also for the unbelievers in these countries, for their eyes to be opened so that they will not just stay stuck in this trap, in the snare of the devil. Now, if you want to understand this prophecy of the big battle, the Gog and Magog war, because it's different from
just check my other stupid video.
If you want
to understand the prophecies, just look at my other dumb video where I just teach you some other dumb stuff that's not in the Bible. What a joke. What an utter joke.
Okay. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. Studying the Bible with Mike, Sam, Pat. These other YouTubers are just so trash. Hit the thumbs up if you wanna support. Go follow Mike as he follows the Lord. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 You better watch out, Mike's calling out the shills. If you're not free grace, you need to sit down and chill. We're not hyper grace, you know we keep it real. Eternally secure, you know that we're sealed. We don't back low, we're not workspace heretics. Mike's not in it for the money, trying to get a lick. They out here selling their souls for a couple clicks. Becoming Freemasons so they can't just get rich. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Shout out to Mike, Sam, Pat. Check out his channel, Toronto Bible Study. Subscribe and like.